Hello friends and welcome to lab report number 14, July 15th, 2017. And yes, in case you didn't notice, this is the first time in over a year that I publish one of these lab reports. And well, I figured now that the new workshop / lab is up and running, it's about time to revive this format, and you'll see more of this in the future. Now, while my last 3 videos have been filmed in my basement rooms in Cologne, I've also been working on a lot of different projects here in the new workshop, but unfortunately I'm not at the point yet where I have enough conclusive results to publish a real episode about any of it. But well, let me just show you what I've been working on. So the big topic here this week have been old printers, and you see here 6 different models, 4 of which are laser printers, 2 of which are inkjet printers, but not ordinary ones, but well, special models for larger paper formats. And what I've been trying to do here is to get them all running again after 15 or 20 years, and well, I'm trying to make an episode answering the question if using these printers that you can now get for free in many places is an alternative to buying new ones, especially considering that these printers here have a much higher build quality than what you get today, at least for little money. Now, there are many factors here, like for example, working with the old interfaces and connectors, finding drivers, which operating system to use, availability and price of ink and toner cartridges, and many other things. And even though I've been able to accomplish a lot, I'm not yet at the point where I can upload a video about this, but I'm positive that I'll be able to do that until the end of next week. And the next thing here is a disk writing machine, or Brennroboter as we say in German. That means burning robot, directly translated. And what it does is that you have this little pickup here, or robot arm, that picks up disks from a tray, puts them automatically into one of the disk writers, where then of course data is written on the disks. It takes them out again into a printer section, an inkjet printer, that then prints an image on the disk, and this robot can do this automated with, I don't know, 50 or 100 disks in a row. And I got this from a film production company here in Cologne. They also gave it away for free online, and I was the first guy to contact them and get there. So when this thing is repaired, it's actually worth a couple of €100, and I've been trying to do that with some success. But I'm still looking for a new part. It's one of these transparent optical encoder strips here, and I think that we'll have to take apart a lot of old inkjet printers before finding just the right replacement part, and then I can see if this goes anywhere. And the next thing is just a very small project. I have found a couple of old microphones here on the flea market for as little as €1. Some of them condenser microphones, some of them dynamic microphones. And since I'm using my good microphone in my apartment, I want to set up at least one of these here in the shop and one in the basement so that I can make good audio recordings there. But in order to cancel out the reverb, I want to build mic screens. Now I have one of these mic or mic screens in my apartment, but they typically cost between 50 and €100. And well, actually they're not that complicated to make, I think. So I bought this dampening material here, which only costs like €2 or €3 for 1/2 meter times 1/2 meter on Amazon now. This is some kind of surplus material, but well, this is really not the most important project. I will see that I get one of these built in the next couple of weeks. And what we see here right next to it are the guts of a Telefunken magnetophone from 1958. It's an old-fashioned tape recorder, of course, still based on vacuum tube technology. It has some very worn-out old belts, though, and some severe damage to some of the electronics here of the amplifier. Now, I don't know if there's any hope that I can ever get this repaired, but I will try, and there will be a video about it sooner or later. So let's get over into this corner here where I'm collecting parts for yet another project, and this is really about a societal development that I totally missed while living in a small village for a couple of years. And that is that here in Germany, in the big cities, people are more and more switching to cargo bikes and electric cargo bikes as a means of transporting their children or bringing a package to the postal service, going shopping, you name it. And I also want to have one of these bikes, but they are very expensive. You often pay more than 1,500 euros for them. And that is why I want to try to build one from scrap parts and just old bicycles that you can often get for free here. But while I'm still collecting parts, I have started to film the different models that you see here on the streets. So let's go outside and take a look at them. So here we have what I would consider the simplest form of a cargo bike. This very new model here has a strong frame, very thick tires, and then some kind of support on top of the front tire where a box is placed. And I think even though this is a brand new model, obviously, this is a very old-fashioned idea, and I think this was used by bakeries back in the day for transporting bread around and stuff like that. And, well, you sometimes also see motor scooters like this one using a similar way of transporting boxes. And here we have another brand new model, which again I think is a very old-fashioned type of cargo bike, a tricycle, which I personally like a lot, but I could imagine that it has the disadvantage that the back is actually wider than the front, which makes it more probable that you will bump into things in a very narrow environment like here in the inner cities. But I might be wrong about that. Please tell me if you have any experience with it. And here is another type of cargo bike, one that you see very often now on the streets of Cologne, and that is basically just a stretched, strong bicycle frame where the cargo is placed between you and the front tire. And while this particular model looks rather industrial, there are other ones which maybe look more aesthetically pleasing for normal people, and they often use them to carry their children around. And here is a fourth and maybe the most popular type here in Cologne. It's basically a reverse tricycle, which is wider in the front again, which I think is a good thing. And again, there are versions which people often use to drive their children around, but also ones that look more rugged and have bigger compartments for cargo transport and stuff like that. And here you can see some self-made reverse tricycles that some guy must have built many years ago. Well, but since I don't have the money to buy a cargo bike and participate in this exciting development that way, I might have to build one myself. Hey, but luckily I like building things. But what kind of model I will build I haven't decided on yet. And also sometimes, but not as often, you see electric bikes. Like, for example, this electric cargo bike here that you can rent, and maybe I might rent it to take a closer look at it. It uses a Bosch electric motor and a power pack. And there are also sometimes these completely enclosed electric bikes here, even though I'm not sure if you still want to call it a bike. So as you can see, there is always a lot going on here at the same time, and in case you're wondering, why is he not just focusing on one project? Well, the problem is that I often don't know if my projects are really worth chasing down the rabbit hole, because often I repair things and I don't know if they can be repaired by reasonable means, and if I just focus on that thing for days on end, at the end of the day I might just lose that entire game. The other thing is that I often order replacement parts that take a long time to get here, and while I wait for them to come, I have to work on something else, or otherwise I can't show you anything. In case you want to help me out a little bit, I don't have a good computer here in the workshop or in the vault yet. I was lucky enough to get 2 HP computers that are, well, reasonably modern. The only thing that is not good about them is that they don't have modern graphics cards. This graphics card here is a GeForce 9500 GT, many years old, low-end graphic card. really not good, not up to the job. And also my so-called video editing PC only uses a GeForce 630. That's like a 60 euros graphics card from 2 years ago. And I've been using that to, I don't know, edit over 50 videos. It's really a pain in the neck. So if one of you guys has a graphics card that is at least better than this 9500 lying at home, please contact me under inventordonations@gmail.com. Because it would be really good if I don't have to spend money on something that someone in the audience has lying around somewhere anyway. The same goes for RAM. I need DDR3 RAM. It doesn't matter how much RAM or how fast it is. It must be just DDR3 so that I can get these HP computers running. Again, please send me an email in that case, because I don't have the time to sift through all the comments and check if you wanted to send me something or not. As you can see, though, a lot is going on, and I think that the next video will come up in the next days, and I hope that you like this, and to see you soon.